Okay, this video will show you how to create a basic melody using a variety of rhythms in Noteflight. So the first thing you're going to do once you've created an account is you are going to create a new score. So I'm going to click on Create here. And you're just going to start from a blank score sheet and hit OK. Now the default is piano. As you can see here, we've got a treble and a bass clef. I always think it's a great idea to start by putting a title in. So I'm going to just call this one Basic Melody, and here composer is me. The way that we are going to input notes here is just using the typing keyboard. So the first thing I've done is just clicked inside bar 1 here to highlight it. And using the typing keyboard, I'm just going to input a C major scale. So I'm literally just going to type the notes. And I might just turn this down a little bit because I'm on max. I'm literally just going to type C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You can see I've inputted the C major scale, and at the moment they're all crotchets. That is the default note value of Noteflight. Now I'm just going to click inside the bar again, not on a note because that just selects one note. I'm going to click inside the bar and hit delete to delete the whole bar, and do the same here. And I'm going to go back to bar 1. What I'm going to do now is talk about how to input various rhythms into Noteflight. So you'll notice here in your menu there is a little category called duration, and at the moment duration is shown in rest values. So a problem that people often encounter is they click on duration and it disappears, which is an odd quirk about Noteflight. So the way to get that to reappear is go here in your menu and make sure that duration is ticked. By the way, you can access anything that is in this area of your screen here via this little menu here. Okay, so we've clicked inside bar 1, and as you can see, if I hover over the bar, I'm prompted as to where I want to place a note. But we're not going to worry about doing that. We are just going to input this rhythm using one note. For the moment, we're going to go ta, ti, ti, ticka, ticka, ta. So the default is a ta, a crotchet, so I'm just going to type C. There we go. Now the next note that I want to put in is a TT, which is a quaver or an eighth note. If you hover over the note here, you'll see it is an eighth note there. So I'm going to click on eighth note. But watch what happens if I do that. It's changed the note that I had inputted as a crotchet because that is what was highlighted. But I don't want to do that because the rhythm that I want is ta, ti, ti, ticka, ticka, ta. So I'm going to press Command Z. By the way, when I say Command Z, it's because I'm an Apple user. If you're a PC user, it will be Control Z. So I've hit Command Z to undo. Now, in order to get to the next beat of the bar, I need to push across. So now the next beat is highlighted. And remember, because it's now a rest, the duration appears as rests. So I want a TT, so I'm going to select eighth note rest. Here it is. And now if I go CC, there is my TT. So I need to go to the next beat now by pushing the across arrow on my keyboard. I'm moving to the right, across. Again, it's gone back to rests. This time I want 16th note rest because ticka ticka is a 16th note, or in fact they are 4 16th notes. So I'm going to click here, then I'm going to go C, 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 and then across ta. So there's my rhythm, ta, T, T, ticka, ticka, ta. I'd encourage everyone to try that before we go any further. Now, some more complex rhythms, say for example, you want a T ticker. Well, a T ticker is an 8th note followed by 2 16th notes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've pushed across to get to the next bar, and I'm going to go T, and then input C, across, 16th note, ticker, and maybe I'll do T, ticker, ticker, T. So a ticker T is a T ticker in reverse. It's 2 16th notes. So ticker, across, T, and then I might end with a T, T, ta. So here, T, T, ta. Okay, so there's our basic rhythm. Now, as we know, a melody is simply rhythm and pitch combined. Now, we do have a pitch. We've got the note C, but we only have one note. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and move some of these notes to create a bit more of an interesting melody. I'm going to move notes up and down. So I'm going to start on C because I really want to give my piece a sense of being in the key of C. So I'm going to just start on C. Oh, and by the way, you might want to start on middle C, not on this high C here. In fact, you might want to just move everything down an octave. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here inside the bar. I'm going to hold down Shift and then click inside my second bar. That selects everything. And then I'm going to hold down Command and press the down arrow, and I've just moved everything down an octave. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move some of these notes around just using my up and down arrows to create a bit more of an interesting melody. So I've got Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Mi, Re, Ti, Do. Do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, ti, do. Then I might go so, 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 so. Maybe mi, 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 mi. Re, ti, do. Now if I want to play that, I just go back here and push this little play button. There we go. There's a basic melody in the key of C major. Now, make sure you save your work regularly so you don't lose it. You can save it by pushing this little up arrow here to save, or you need to press Command S to save your work, just like you would in any word processing document. Great. So the next step now is I'm going to show you how to export this melody as a PDF and as an MP3 file. Now, this is where you need to be using Google Chrome, and if you're not using Google Chrome, this won't work. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is just get rid of these unwanted bars. So I'm going to click inside the bar, and then if I click in this region up here, hold down Shift and click here, I can just push this minus button and that will actually get rid of the entire measure like that. I think delete would have done the same thing, but here I've got a nice and neat 2-bar composition and it's time to export it. I'm going to go to my menu here and I'm going to hover over score and then I'm going to click export. Now you've got all these options to export, but remember you will not see these bottom 2 options unless you are using Google Chrome. So I'm going to export it as a PDF first. And that's done. And then I am going to export it as, whoops, sorry, just scrolling across, export as an MP3. And it shouldn't take several minutes. It should be instantaneous. Now, if you're wondering where these files are now, they will appear in your downloads folder. So whatever is your downloads, wherever your downloads go, that's where they'll appear. And that's it. Good luck. Happy composing.